a bunch of requests are happening, okay? And the request, whatever is happening, you can see. So what is here? Just look at this. This is the method is post, okay? Because I am posting a request, okay? And there are a bunch of information, etc. that you see. Don't worry about that. But as you see, there is an authentication call that is happening, which is to check if I'm a legit user or not. Then there's a chat message warning that is happening, etc. And a bunch of stuff is kind of happening over here. Okay, so now what I'll tell you, I'll ask is, can you tell me about how LLMs work? Keep a watch on the right hand side part as soon as I press enter. Okay, you look at this. Okay, so this is the conversation. Look at this. And all of the information that is happening, all of that is being shared right here. Okay, all the information that I'm talking about, LLMs, etc., it is here. So when you are working on an application on the internet, actually what you are doing right now, when you're doing prompting also, it is a series of API calls that you are all making. Okay, even if you have not gotten it, it is okay. I just wanted to kind of give you that sense that there is a lot of API calls that would happen. And if you are looking at this, any kind of a request URL is a API call you are making, and the request method is via post, get, or something like that. So let me see, this is one get request. Then if you see, this is a get request. This is also a get request. There are multiple get, post, requests, etc. that keep happening when you are talking to an AI software. Okay. So again, this part, what APIs can do with software, etc., all that, we have just gone through it, which is like creating something like a record, which is the post, get, delete, and a lot of other methods. Don't have to be worried about the technical specifications. What we have seen right now is just think in terms of restaurant delivery. Think of yourself as one software, restaurant as another software, and your conversation and your request as to what you requested and the response from the restaurant, that is exactly how API calls are made. Okay, so again, how we can find API? If you are searching on Google, you are working on any software, etc., you will see an API call, and what you had seen there is exactly that. For example, let me show you one more example. I'll go to google.com. Okay, I'm just going to basic google.com and I will open that same page. Okay, so now I will search fundamentals. So you see this, right? As I'm searching something, fundamentals of LLMs, and I press enter. When I press enter, see all of these multiple calls are being made, and you can see this. There is this post request on searching this information, etc. All that is happening. And then when I click on something, look at this. New things, new pages have got loaded, and therefore new APIs are loading as we speak, or new API calls are being made. So list collections is one API call. As you can see, it is saying that this is the thing. You are making a post and it is telling you what is the content, etc. A bunch of piece order. Okay, so this is how your different API calls kind of work. So what all can be automated? Any software-based thing can be automated as long as the APIs are available. And typically for any software, it will work only with APIs. Okay, it's a predefined steps, rules, conditions, and logics, and it's a completely repetitive process that is working. Okay, and what cannot be automated? Any ad hoc process that requires human decision making, it cannot be automated. And if it is software based, but no APIs are available. So these APIs have to be available publicly to be used. If the APIs are not available, you cannot use that. Suppose you work in a very complex ERP software, but the software does not give you any APIs, you cannot work with these things. Okay, so can you work with these APIs to automate your work? Yes and no. Okay, and let me explain what it is. So earlier, right, you had to be like a programmer and understand programming to work with APIs. Unless you knew programming, you cannot do APIs because you have to write an API call with code. But now with the advent of this automation software, like the low or no code platforms, you are able to build your own automation systems and APIs without learning how to code. Okay, so the top no code or low code platforms are Make.com, N8n, Zapier, and there are a bunch of others that are there. But today our focus is going to be on Make because it is low cost. It is almost 20 times less expensive than Zapier. It is a visual automation builder where it is very easy to do a lot of custom API calls, and it is very easy to do the data handling. There are advanced options available, and it is pretty reliable to use. Okay, so whenever you are trying to build an automation, here are some things and best practices you should know. Always create a step-by-step logic in your flowchart. If the automation process is not clear in your head, you will not be able to build it on the software also. And you should check if your software provides the APIs access, whether it is free or paid. And you should list all of the software involved in building your automation process. Okay, so now let us jump into the practical session on Make. Okay, from here on, for the next, I would say 60 to 90 minutes, I would want to have your undivided attention. Okay, so we are now going to make a switch from theory into the practice. Everybody clear with the fundamentals of automation, what API is, etc.? We can now go ahead and build it out. Okay, awesome. Let us build it out overall.
நான் போட்டுக்கிறேன் அது செட் ஆகல நான் போட்டுக்கிறேன் செட் ஆகல கலர் செட் ஆகல நான் தூக்கிட்டு வரேன் அதுதான் பர்ஸ் இருக்கு நான் தூக்கிட்டு வரேன்.
So what we are going to do is we are going to build this automation that I have shown, but first let me give you a small overview on Make.com. Okay, Make.com is a software, okay, where you can build a lot of automations, and the way Make understands a few automations are any automation process that you build, that is called a scenario. Okay, so any automation process that you build is a scenario, and every part of the automation that you're trying to build, it is called a module. So you are going to work with modules and scenarios, and here what you see is your organization. These are some of the active scenarios that are available. You're working on Outskill. You have your things like your teams. If you want to add teams, you can add here. There are multiple users. For now, we have only single user over here. Then we have a lot of other advanced settings, but for now, we can stay with this part itself. Here, this graph tells you on each particular day how many operations have run and what is the data of the operations that have run on that particular day. Okay, so now without any further ado, let me go to scenarios. So scenarios is the place where we are going to build multiple scenarios, and what we are going to do today is to build a very, very simple social media posting automation. Okay, so for that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to AI Mastermind, and I will say to create a new scenario. This is just a folder. To create a new scenario, I will just say create a scenario. All right, and once I create a scenario, I will come to this place where I have to start building my automation. Okay, now before I build my automation, what I need to do is I need to first think through the logic. I need to first think through the manual steps that I have to do in terms of the automation. Okay, so do you guys remember? Do you guys remember the custom GPT session that you had done in the morning? Do you guys remember the custom GPT session that you have done in the morning? Now, in the custom GPT session that you have done, you will have to, go to the custom GPT, put in your topic. Then once the information comes, you'll have to copy it, you'll have to paste it, go on to LinkedIn and paste your particular post. You'll have to go through all of that process. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I will take that exact same process and try to automate and try to extend the automation like a complete content production factory. That is what we're going to do. And I'm going to do it absolutely from scratch. Okay, so the first step is, you have to understand what are the processes involved when you're trying to build this out. Okay, so let us first whiteboard the process that is involved. All right. So for the process, what we are going to do is we'll try to understand. So I am going to build first a LinkedIn posting automation. It will do a LinkedIn post automation for me. Now, what do I need is I need to, build my automation wherein I first need to get my post written by AI. Then I need to create the image for the post that is written by AI. Then I want to review the post. Because unless I review the post, I cannot post it directly. Because you would have seen, you should not blindly go with AI. You have to understand and review the post before you take it forward. So you have to review the post written by AI. Then once I review the post plus image have to be posted on LinkedIn. Okay. So now what are the softwares that are involved in this complete process? So to get my post written by AI, I can use OpenAI or Claude. So I will use OpenAI. To create the image also, I can use OpenAI. I can use OpenAI to create the image. To review the post, if I want to review if the post is good or not, and then send it across, I will maybe use a Google spreadsheet. Okay, so once the OpenAI kind of creates everything, it will review the post on Google spreadsheet. And then with the Google spreadsheet, I will look at the post and I say it is good. Then the post has to be taken live on LinkedIn. So I have got OpenAI, I have got a Google spreadsheet, then I have got LinkedIn. I have got 3 softwares that are available. Now, there are some more nuances that will come when you're trying to build out your automation. See, you will have to think in terms of extremely step by step. Then only this will work. For example, if I want to get my post written by AI, where do I get the idea or where do I put my idea? Somewhere I should note my ideas. Okay, so the ideas I will put it in a Google spreadsheet. So I will put my idea in a Google sheet. Great. Now when the image is created, when the post is created, I will put the draft of the post in a Google sheet. That will be fine. But when the image is created, where do I put it? One option is I can put it in a Google Drive. Okay. So then I'll put that image in my Google Drive. And I can check both my Google Drive and the Google spreadsheet so that I understand how this image has been created. I can review it and then I can post it on LinkedIn. Okay, so I have my OpenAI software, I have my Google spreadsheet, I have my LinkedIn, I have my Google Drive. So these are the softwares that I have to work with, and I'll have to build out my posting automation mechanism. Okay, everybody clear so far how we took systematically step by step and understood what are those softwares. So the way you have to think about this is you will have to, understand that whenever you are doing such things, you have to go very minutely and you have to simulate the entire process humanly. Okay, so if you have an idea, where do you put the idea? Sometimes it's in your head, but now idea in your head isn't the right way to do the automation. Now, where would you put an idea in a software so that even another software can pick it up? Google Spreadsheet is a good place. So I'll put my idea in the Google Spreadsheet, then I'll take it to OpenAI, then I'll create the image, then I'll review the post, and I will do the bunch of stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to build this exact LinkedIn post automation for you step by step. So the good part about Make is everything is drag and drop, and you can choose which all you kind of need. Okay, so my first thing is, so I will create a fresh sheet. Okay, so this is a sheet that is a fresh sheet that I have. I'm calling this live sheet 2, and from this sheet, I'm going to run my complete posting automation. Okay, so for this, what I'll do is first I will have to create a table and some columns for those particular tables. Okay, first thing is I will require to put in a content idea. So I'll put in the content idea. Once the content idea is picked up from the sheet and ChatGPT kind of or OpenAI kind of creates the post, I need to get the LinkedIn post overall. So I will say this is the LinkedIn post. Okay, so I have the content idea, I will get the LinkedIn post. Okay, and once I get the LinkedIn post, I need to get the file ID of the image in Google Drive. So I will call this, image link. So it will give me the image link of something. So I need to put the image link over here. So I have the content idea, I have the LinkedIn post, I have the image link that I will need to do. And further, what I need to do is I need to set up control mechanisms. What that means is I need to set up a control so that I understand when should this automation pick my sheets, when should it pick it up, etc. So I need to put some statuses. So for that, I will say what is called control. Okay, so very simple. I will put my content idea. AI will pick the Make automation will pick the content idea and it will put the LinkedIn post. And once it puts the LinkedIn post and the image link, that is when I can decide whether to review, post, etc. Now there are a bunch of stages I have to put to it. So the stages are, I will have to create content or create draft. So when I'm trying to first do something, I will create the draft post of it. So I create the draft. Once the draft is created, I will say ready for review so that I can review it. Then after I create the draft and it is ready for review, I will say, I have made my edits. I will say post content. Okay, I will say post content. And then once the content is posted, I need a way to know that the content is posted. So I will say posted content. So create draft, ready review, post content, and posted content. Now all of this, what I'll do is I will create a data validation. So I will add the rules. I will give colors so that it is easy for me to recognize. Okay, so I have all of these things. Okay, so now I have this. Okay, now can you guys give me an idea on what topic should I use to build a post? Give me some ideas. So I will take one content idea and try to build it. Okay, so I got some ideas. So somebody said scope of something like a lot of topics are there. Since I'm interested in AI, I will try to create a topic on AI itself. So let me say AI and the future of jobs. So I want to create a post on this particular topic, AI and the future of jobs. Okay, so the first thing I'll have to do is first I want to kind of go on this sheet and pick up this particular sentence or the topic and create a draft out of it. Okay, so let us go step by step. First step is I need my spreadsheet to pick up the information on that particular topic. So I will start off with Google Sheets. Okay, so now I can say watch new rows, etc. But watch new rows, the problem is there are multiple operations I can do. Okay, so what I'll do is I will go with this operation called search rows, which will actually retrieve already existing rows on the sheet so that multiple times we can run it and see the information. If you want to make this automation live and for every new row added you want it to run, you will have to put the watch changes node or module, but I will use the search rows module itself. Okay, this clock that you see, right, what it means is it is a periodic trigger. So I can set up a trigger every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or so on. Okay, so first thing is I will have to add my connection. How do I add the connection? You say simply quick add. When you sign into Google with your Google credentials, your connection to Make would be ready. It is as simple as that. So I already have a connection to this account. So this is the tools one. And now I will say select from all. I'm going to put the spreadsheet ID. Now what is my spreadsheet ID? So go to the spreadsheet and here docs.google.com/spreadsheets like this. This between one is your spreadsheet ID in case you don't even know how to do that. Okay, go to Claude or you are since morning and everything you have seen everything on ChatGPT. I am switching to Claude to show you that everything that I'm showing is not LLM dependent. Any LLM, this process would absolutely work. Okay, so what I will say is get me the spreadsheet ID from above. So I'm trying to assume that you don't, even if you're not having the tech expertise to understand what the spreadsheet ID is, how do I take it, etc. You can go with this process and it will tell you exactly what your spreadsheet ID is. So it is giving you this is your spreadsheet ID. Copy and I will paste my spreadsheet ID. Okay, now sheet name, just click like this. It will tell you all of the sheets available. See, it is showing 3 sheets. Here there are master, live sheet 2. Because you are building this automation on live sheet 2, you will have to say live sheet 2. Okay, table contains headers and what case where is like here the filter is telling in which case should I get these rows or when should I extract rows from my table. Okay, so my make automation will run on 2 instances. One instance is when I'm creating a draft and the second instance is I have done the review and I want to post the content. Okay, so in these things I have create draft and post content. That is when I want the system to actually get the rows. So I will take that particular thing. So it is create draft post content. So I will say filter is control equal to create draft. So it should be exactly the same. And I'll add an OR rule so that I can say control equal to post content. So only retrieve those rows from the spreadsheet where the content idea and create draft is given, or the content idea and the post content is given. Okay. So I go here and I save. Okay. So I have taken this information and I have put this. Now what I'll do is I will right click it and I'll say run this module only. So the make automation is running. Do you see this? It has now given me the first row. It is saying content idea is AI and the future of jobs. LinkedIn post is blank. Image link is blank. Control is create draft. The row number is this. The spreadsheet ID is this, etc. Okay. So I have created my first module in Make. I set it up and I ran it to retrieve data from the spreadsheet. Okay. Guys, how are you following it so far? Isn't it cool? Like I just took a spreadsheet, created the columns, and I have started getting the information overall. Okay. For some of you, it might be a little bit heavy. I understand that. But all of you understand this process wherein what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to automate building out the content. That's what I'm trying to do. So first thing, I have built out this spreadsheet. Now, the content idea has to be passed on to my OpenAI module. Okay, I want to pass on the content idea to my OpenAI module and I want to create a post draft. Okay, so now where do I get those prompts? All right, so now in the morning session, do you remember how Vaibhav created the prompt on how you can train your own writing and create a prompt on the writing? Do you guys remember that from the morning? From the morning session, do you remember how do you create that prompt for writing? Yes? Okay. So that particular thing, we are going to reuse that prompt. So I have trained a prompt on my own writing, which will do this, and I'm going to create that particular prompt and I'm going to use that prompt directly. Okay. If you are confused, okay, how to do that, I'm going to show step by step how I'm going to take it forward from there. Okay. So for next thing is, if I want to add my next module, I will click add. And here, because I want to take the idea into OpenAI, I will have to create this module called OpenAI. So check for the module OpenAI. It is available. So here you have got multiple things that are available. But when you are sending a prompt and you want to get an output, you will have to run it with this called create a completion prompt. Okay, so I am setting up create a completion prompt. Now here, how do you add your connection? You say add, you click OpenAI connection, and you need to get your API key. Where do you get your API key from? So for that, what you have to do is, you have to go to platform.openai.com. So let me go from scratch. You go to platform.openai.com. You will have to sign in with your Google account. And then here, search for API keys. Okay, you will get this in settings API keys. Click the API keys. And then you can say create new secret API key. And once you create your name and you select the project, you will be able to create an API key. Once the API key is created, copy that API key into your make system, which is your API key over here. Okay, I have already set this up completely, so I don't need to do this, but I can go and I will set up this thing. Now here I'll have to choose my prompt completion. Because I want it to be slightly fast, I will go with GPT 4.1 Nano. Once we have set up the complete automation, that's when I can use more complex models. But for the initial testing part, use the nano models. Use nano models for testing. And once you are in production, you can use the other models also. Okay. Everyone, is everyone following me so far? Pace is okay. I know a little technical, but everybody is following, right? Awesome. So now what I'm going to do is I'll have to add my prompt or the messages. Here there is a problem. It is saying there is a user, there is a system, so I need to put a system prompt and a user prompt. I have no idea what a system prompt means and what a user prompt means. Okay, so for that what I'll do is I will copy my prompt. So I have just copied my prompt and I have kept it ready. I will go to my system and here is what I will do. Hi, I'm actually building a automation system on Make, wherein I'm going to take ideas from my Google spreadsheet and create LinkedIn draft posts out of those ideas. For that, I'm going to use the OpenAI module of Make.com. I'm going to share my prompt with you. Can you tell me what is the system prompt and what is the user prompt that I have to use in the OpenAI module? Okay, this is the prompt. Okay, let me try once again. I think the voice was not captured. I am trying to build an automation system. Can you build me that automation system? Sorry, 1 second. I am trying to build an automation system on Make for creating a LinkedIn post by picking ideas from a Google spreadsheet. I am giving my prompt. Can you divide it into system prompt and user prompt so that I can use it in the Make OpenAI module? Okay, so I am asking it to do this. So this is the prompt that you would have built in your first today morning session, exactly what Vaibhav taught, the same process. And now the LLM itself is dividing it into the system prompt and user prompt. Okay, so it is getting all of the information along with the voice DNA, the audience, the 5-block blueprint, formatting rules, and CTA options, etc. And this is also the user prompt it is giving me. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will copy this. I'll go to make.com and I will put the role as system because it is a system prompt that I have copied. Do you look at this on the right hand side? My previous node Google Sheet which I had run, whatever the information is available, that actually comes here for me right now. Okay, so I will paste my content over here. And one small change I will make is, I will say no markdown, because when I try to create a markdown post on LinkedIn, it cannot be easily copied. Okay, and I have my system prompt ready. Now I have to put in something called a user prompt. Now, how do I get the user prompt?